Well, our next guest has gone from being the first full-time gossip columnist in New Zealand to the first gossip columnist in the entire world to make it onto the Queen's Birthday Honours List. I'd like to welcome David Hartnell to the show. And congratulations, David Hartnell, MNZM. And here is the actual medal. I'm going to hold it up there. That is just quite remarkable, and that's why you're in Wellington. What happened last night?
Well, yesterday we went to Government House, which was an extraordinary... His Excellency and Lady Susan just mixed and mingled with everybody. You know, you think of Governor General's rather stuffy and standoff. It was just superb. And being humbled by the people that are not in the public eye that have got these awards. And of course, when mine came up, it was about gossip and everything, and I'm sitting next to somebody who saved somebody's life in a helicopter, and somebody over here has invented something that's going to make somebody... And I'm thinking, oh my God, I feel a bit of a fraud sort of thing. But no, it's amazing. 40-odd years ago when I started gossip, they said, you'll never make a living at gossip. So I thought, OK, fine. Those are the people I thought of when I was honoured by the Queen. And
you have made a living, and you've even been honoured by it. And I think, you know, don't undersell yourself, because gossip is entertainment, and entertainment is therapy for the soul, isn't it?
Well, I've always been tongue-in-cheek. I've never been vicious with my gossip. It's always been, let's have a laugh. And I think that's the nice thing about the whole thing. So, yes, I mean, it's one of those extraordinary things that happened. I didn't know that it was going to happen. It came out of the blue.
You nearly didn't get the letter, I remember you telling me.
Yes, it was in the letterbox, and we never had mail come to the house. And it was a few days later, it was torrential rain, and they'd put one of those plastic bags in to put your clothes in to send off to someone. And we've got on our post office letterbox a sign this big that says no junk mail. And of course, here was this pushed in, but thank God it was, because underneath was a letter. So I opened the letter up, and it was wringing wet, and I thought we'd been invited to Government House maybe for an afternoon tea party or something or another. And then I read it, and I thought, my goodness, but it said reply by the next day. It sat out there for a week.
My understanding is you have to get nominated, is that correct? Did you find out who nominated you?
No, it's a well-kept secret.
Oh.
A well-kept secret who nominates you. So it's just one of those things. And all the people don't know who's nominated them. But
which is so you know someone out there really respects you and nominated you. Now, you also got this mysterious phone call, I understand, from the United Kingdom.
Well, this was bizarre too, because I got a phone call from a newspaper in England saying, you're the first gossip columnist that's ever been honoured by the Queen. And I thought it was a friend of mine, so I said, yeah, whatever. And the guy said, no, we are ringing from the paper and the Telegraph and so on and so forth. He said, look, I'll tell you what, give me your email address, I'll email you. And of course, then I realised it was for real. And he said, no, this is true. And I said, okay.
So did they do a little article over there?
Yes, and I find it bizarre, because there's been Marjorie Proops, there's been Donald Zack, there's been all those, Nigel Dempster, and none of them have been honoured by the Queen. So I've been honoured by many queens in my life, but this one is a real one. That's the one I'm proud of.
So did you contact Buckingham Palace to sort of clarify this?
I wrote to Buckingham Palace, to the people who do all the medals and so on and so forth, and they said, we can't deny this, we don't know, we've looked back, we can't find anybody. I asked them here at Government House, who look after all the medals, and they said exactly the same thing. And I said, well, and they just said, well, as far as we're concerned, no, you're the only one. So there you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, what does it mean? I mean, you've got it on your business card, MNZM. Apart from being an honour, what does it mean? Like, what will it mean to your career?
It means I've arrived after 40 years of writing gossip. I sat there at Government House thinking, well, I have arrived. And it was just a bizarre feeling, but it was a humble feeling as well. You know, it was something that I've never anticipated in my life happening, ever. It's just one of those things that happen. I mean, I've had in the last... You know, when you think after 40 years, what next? And last year I was made the patron of the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand. You're not a member, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, every entertainer should be in the Variety Artists Club of New Zealand. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make you an honorary life member. I'll take it on myself to make you an honorary life member.
Oh, I'm most honoured.
We will be in touch with you. It's a fantastic organisation of all entertainers in New Zealand. And they get together, they share their experiences, and they perform and so on. Then I went on to get a star on the Walk of Fame in Orewa, and somebody said to me, Orewa? My God, and it's hardly Hollywood. It's still a lovely honour. There's a footpath, you can walk all over me. I said, nothing that has never happened before in my life. They've always been walking over me. So that was in the Walk of Fame. And then, of course, the Queen's Birthday Honour, which was just extraordinary.
And your book, which I do want to promote because it's a fabulous book.
Thank you for that. You did indeed. And that was bizarre because you know how time flies. My dear, I'm writing that and I think, oh, that must have happened 15 years ago. And I look and it's like 30 years ago, 28 years ago. And keep everything. I read once where Mae West, who, if you don't know who she was the Madonna of the day back in the 30s, said, if you keep a diary, one day it'll keep you. And I couldn't be bothered with that, so I kept every newspaper cutting and the whole thing. And I don't care what people say about me, so long as I put 2 L's in Hartnell. That's the most important thing. And they're talking about you. So we put under the house all the cuttings in boxes, and cardboard boxes, and they were there for 18 years. And went down to rummage through them to get pictures and cuttings, and the mice had got into it, and it was Mice City. But we managed to clarify a lot. So, Memoirs of a Gossip Columnist, yes, I'll just slip that in, of course, by Penguin. It's still available at every good bookshop in New Zealand. Thank you very much for mentioning that.
Now, looking back at when you were writing the book, if you had to just pick out maybe 3 or 4 of your most memorable moments, what would they be?
I think probably the most memorable moment is really meeting my partner, Somboon, because that just happened out of the blue. We've been together for 18 years. He had no idea who I was when we met.
Where did you meet?
That was in Auckland, at a Thai restaurant. Where else? He's Thai. We're at a Thai restaurant. I think that's quite extraordinary. And then meeting his family in Thailand and being accepted as part of the family in Thailand. And we have a house in northern Thailand, which we go for the winter. We haven't gone this year, though, because of so much that has happened. I think that's one of the things that stands out. And I think also that I wrote the book, I didn't want to write a granola washed, you know, memoir, like everything is fabulous. I told it like I saw it. And I think that was important when you're writing about it. There's nothing worse. And I wanted lots of pictures in the book, because I hate in biographies and memoirs when you have to fight to little, find, where's that picture, go back to it. So I wanted it like Vanity Fair magazine, so you have all the pictures there at the same time.
Fabulous pictures, and of course your beard, which you were so
That's right,
well known for.
Because I hated shaving, you see.
Now, what about people you've met? Who's left the biggest impression on you in terms of famous faces? I know Phyllis Diller was a big
she's a personal friend of mine. I mean, a lot of these stars are not personal friends. They're ships of passing the night, and if they didn't have a perfume or a movie or a television show to promote, you know, I'd never meet them. So I think Audrey Hepburn stood out.
What was she like?
Beautiful. She was like royalty. Just beautiful. Elizabeth Taylor, who I worked with several times and doing magazine shoots for Vogue and Condé Nast publications, and she had a wonderful sense of humour. We always think, you know, she's American. Of course, she's English. She had the wonderful skin, wonderful sense of humour. Those are the 2 women that stand out in my life. And I think that there were many that I would just like to glide over, of course. I'm sure that you have interviewed many, but you think, oh, hello, goodbye, let's move on. But
not at all.
Not at all, no, of course. I won't put you in that situation. But I find that if you treat people and speak to them as you'd like to be spoken to with interview situations, that's it, and it's after you think, oh, my God, that was such and such. But no, they were a wonderful group of people.
So what's the plan now for you? What projects have you got on the go? You've got the Variety Club, obviously.
Yes, I'm patron of the Variety Club. I'm also writing for Women's Weekly, back there where I actually started my first New Zealand gossip column back in the... and doing some trivia each week in there, which is nice to be back with the Women's Weekly. And patron of the Variety Artists. And I'm also the designer for Citizen Watches. So the style consultant for that. I've always loved watches, and I work with Citizen as well. So by the time all that's gone round, and I do radio reports all over the place of Hollywood gossip and so on and so forth, the week starts all over again. So there you go.
It's a busy life, and now you are MNZM, and I'd like to congratulate you. And
Thank you,
it's a thrill to have you on the show. I think it's the first time I've actually personally met you.
It is. We've always done and I think that you and Brendan do a wonderful job with the show.
Thank you very
talk
much.
to people like they are real people, and well done to both of you.
Oh, well, we
I think
appreciate
I'll make him a member of Variety Artists. Why not?
He'd love
Both
it.
of you. I will be in touch, all right?
Thank you. We will look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much, Dave.